Hello, YouTube. Today I'll be doing a comparison between my 2003 Hummer H2 and this 2025 Hummer EV 2X. And I will be doing this video thanks to Shepherd's Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Auburn, Indiana. So let's get right into the video. All right, to start this video off, let's start with some history on these vehicles. Starting with this one right here, my 2003 Hummer H2. The Hummer H2 is a full-size off-road sport utility truck designed to be the civilian version of the military Humvee and the Hummer H1. The Hummer H2 was built by AM General under contract by General Motors from 2002 to 2009. The Hummer H2 is a mix of two vehicles. The front is a 3/4 ton pickup truck, and the rear is a half ton 1500 frame. They're kind of butted together under the vehicle, making it a bit of a mutt. You think, this vehicle would have been based off a Tahoe or would have been based off a Silverado when you would go to buy parts or anything for this thing, but a lot of this stuff was custom made underneath just for this truck. So I've found that one out when it's come to maintaining this one and buying parts for it. During the world economic crisis, as everybody knows, Hummer went bankrupt, and it was just a step away from being purchased by a Chinese company. This was in the talks for many years. The Hummer brand just kind of sat in limbo until the pickup truck version of these came out in 2022. But before we get to that, let's keep on talking here. The reason why the deal went through on Hummer is because the Chinese government was against it. So the brand just stayed dormant under the GMC portfolio. Now, like I was saying, coming to 2022 is when GMC decided to bring these Hummer EVs back. They first started it with a pickup truck, and then they came out with these wagons in 2024, which honestly, I like the wagon better because I got a Hummer H2 kind of wagon SUV thing. So it'd be neat to have both of them. But these new Hummers, they are sold under GMC. They're not just their own standalone as a Hummer. As you'll see when we get into this video and get to looking at this truck, it's got GMC badges all over it, where mine doesn't. So these trucks came available for pre-order all the way back in 2020. The first vehicles you could pre-order were the EV pickup trucks, and those had some crazy features that they were showing off when they were making their debut back. One of its party tricks was the crab walk feature, which allowed the Hummer EV to travel diagonally by using four-wheel steering, which came standard with the Edition 1, which those were the first edition Hummer EVs that you would have been able to order back in 2020. That didn't come out until 2022. The Edition 1 also included Ultra Vision underbody cameras for easier off-road and maneuverability and visibility, adaptive air suspension, steel underbody armor, a system called Extract Mode, which lifts the suspension 6 inches. You'll see stuff like that with other off-road vehicles. It's not normally called that, but the Trailhawks had something similar to that. Some of the trucks, off-road trucks, have stuff similar to that. So that's not unheard of. So, like I was saying at the beginning of this video, this exact Hummer EV is a 2X model. The 2X model has 570 horsepower from 2 electric motors, while the 3X model has 830 horsepower with 3 electric motors. The 2X model also delivers 7,400 pound-feet of torque, whereas the 3X model provides 11,500 feet of torque. This thing is like a Tesla when you're in it. If you do smash the gas while you're driving one of these, which who doesn't hit the gas every now and then? I know I like to drive like that. Then it does the thing where your neck kind of snaps back and it just hits you. It's powerful, way more powerful than that. That does nothing like that. Only this does, and other electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are very torquey right off the line. It's pretty cool how responsive they are when you smash the gas in them. So this 2X model has an estimated range of 303 miles, while the 3X offers around 298 miles, and that is from fully charged. The 2X Hummer EV can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in approximately 4.5 seconds, while the 3X is designed for enhanced performance with its additional motor. The starting price for a 2X Hummer EV like this one in front of me is around $96,550 before extra options, while the 3X starts at $104,650 before options. These differences highlight the performance and pricing variations between the two models, so it just depends on which one is better for you. If you're looking for better range, if you're looking for different features, off-road features, etc. I couldn't imagine you'd be spending $100,000 on one of these to hit a trail like Moab or go off-roading or whatever, but people do, and you never know. There's some pretty crazy cool looking off-road versions of the Hummer EV I've seen, where they have off-road lights up here in the cowl, and they got more advanced skid plates, and you can get like bronze tow hooks, red tow hooks. Not to mention there's like a whole bronze package you can get on some of these, where they have bronze wheels, bronze accents. Yeah, there's ones you can get where they have red accents. So I like how this one looks, where everything's blacked out, but I do really like how the bronze accents look on these trucks. They are cool. These things do kind of look like something you would see straight out of Halo or straight out of a sci-fi movie, versus this, which is more of a iconic kind of, you think of Hummer, you think of something like this. I like them both a lot. It'd be really cool to have both. So with that information digested now, it looks like for now the Hummer EV wagon and pickup trucks are here to stay, which is a good thing. Definitely neat seeing them. I wonder how they'll adapt them here within the next couple of years. So now that we got majority of stuff done on this tank, bruiser, cruiser, stomper, whatever you want to call it, mean machine, Halo warthog looking kind of thing, we'll get to my 22-year-old Hummer, which looks like something a rapper would be driving from 20 years ago, or looks kind of like every Hummer did in the movies back then. You definitely used to see these things in the media a lot. I think that's why they're so well remembered and so well known. I take this thing anywhere, and you always have people talking to you about it, and they're surprised. They're like, that's a 20-year-old truck? That doesn't look like a 20-year-old truck. Or they're always asking questions about it. It's just a super iconic, well-known vehicle, and you don't see them that much here in the Rust Belt. I don't know how it would go for down south, if these things still exist, if you see them a lot, but you don't see them much up here. So definitely kind of get a crowd of people looking when you drive something like that around. But let's get off of my rambling and let's talk about what my Hummer H2 MSRP'd for. So the MSRP on the Hummer H2 ranged from $56,690 to $63,100. The Hummer H2 did have a slight redesign for 2008. The main features of the redesign were a 393 horsepower 6.2 liter V8 Vortec engine that got 10 miles to the gallon in the city and 12 miles per gallon on the freeway. The main features of this redesign were a 393 horsepower 6.2 liter V8 engine that got 10 miles to the gallon in the city and 12 miles to the gallon on the freeway, which replaced the 325 horsepower 6 liter Vortec that my truck has that gets 10 to 12 miles per gallon in the city and 14 to 16 miles per gallon on the highway, while the bigger engine got 10 miles per gallon in the city and 12 miles per gallon on the freeway. There's another reason why these went away. Recession time, when gas hit and it was $5 a gallon, people couldn't afford to fill these things up. But it doesn't mean that's much cheaper just because it's an EV. It's a Hummer. It goes through gas. Not gas, electricity, just like this thing goes through gas. So not the most fuel efficient EV vehicle out there, but when you look like that, who cares? There was also a new 6L80E 6-speed automatic transmission that replaced this Hummer's. There was also a new 6L80E 6-speed automatic transmission that replaced this Hummer's 4L65E 4-speed automatic transmission. Additional changes also include a newer, sleek-looking interior. There was that Sedona orangey kind of looking interior color, which is pretty rare. It does make H2s worth more if they have that. And there was also paint matched body molding for the last couple of years, but this wasn't just to the final edition Hummers. The special edition Hummers also had paint matched body molding that went through them, and they also had like side steps that kind of cut in up here. They were pretty sleek looking. There's like the fusion orange, there's a bunch of different blues. So they've been doing that for a little bit before they did the final edition Hummers. But the 2008, 2009 Hummers, they are definitely the most expensive ones. People want them the most because the engines and the transmissions are more bulletproof. I think they also held their value better because they're the last of like this big body looking bruiser cruiser Hummer truck. And they also cost more because the interior's way more up to date. Their interiors look quite a bit different than mine, but I still like how my interior looks. I like them all. So while we're still walking around the outside of these vehicles, let's do a size comparison on them. So starting with the H2, the length of the Hummer H2 is 482 centimeters with a width of 206.3 centimeters. The height on this vehicle is 207 centimeters, which, let's just walk up to it like I would normally, being 5'11". My head stops like here, a little lower than that. My head's like here, so definitely quite a bit taller than I am. Gotta be pretty tall to see the top of this thing, like a basketball player or something. The wheelbase on the H2 is 311.9 centimeters, and it gets 25.5 centimeters of ground clearance. The gross vehicle weight on this thing is 8,600 pounds, which I thought that was crazy until you hear how much this monster weighs. Yeah, this thing will blow it out of the water. So before I get to that, we're gonna finish off with this one still. This Hummer has a 32-gallon fuel tank that gets 312 miles in the city and 448 on the highway. All right, now let's get started with the EV. So the length on the Hummer EV is 525 centimeters. So it is a little bit longer than the H2. The width on it is 219.6 centimeters. So if you thought being 8 feet wide was too wide on that, well then you're gonna love it when you get in this, because it's even wider. The height on this one is 197.6 centimeters, so it is shorter than the H2, and I can tell in person. You can't really tell in video. Even when I'm standing next to the car, here's about where my head is from the roof. You can't really tell. It's still a tall vehicle nonetheless, but it is a little bit shorter. The wheelbase on it is 321.8 centimeters. The ground clearance is pretty close to the H2. It's 25.9 centimeters. And get this, the gross vehicle weight on the Hummer EV is 10,550 pounds. I'm surprised with that weight. They don't make you legally stop at a weigh station if you have any passengers in it. It's crazy, right? Park this thing in your yard, it will definitely sink. That is nuts. It's probably one of the heaviest cars by far I've ever drove or ridden or sat in. It's insane. And the range when this 2X is fully charged is 314 miles. So now that I've gone over a bunch of facts between the two cars, we might as well show off the interiors of the vehicles, and we'll get started with the EV, because everybody's kind of seen the interior of my H2. I've done a couple videos of it. So first we're going to do a walk around showing kind of what it looks like, and then we'll sit in this thing and I'll show you the rear cargo space. I'll show you a couple other things about it. Please mind, both of these vehicles are lived in. One of them is mine over there, and the other one is another guy that's letting me borrow it, thankfully, over here at Shepherd's. So I definitely appreciate that, because I cannot afford one of these things. Pop these doors open over here. This would be a two-car solution right here. Two-car gas guzzler solution. All right, so we got her all popped open. Let's see how I pop the trunk. So we're gonna be doing this in my normal fashion. I'm gonna be learning with you guys. So here's the frunk. There we go. Look at that. Mine doesn't have a frunk, mine has an engine up here. So the frunks on these can fit the panels on the roof. These vehicles do have T-tops that you can option into them, and it looks like this one has the T-top bags right here and some other like storage bag. So you would throw those in here, or this would also make a pretty slick pizza delivery car. You could throw your pizzas in here and they'd stay warm. It's got quite a bit of room in here. There's my arm for comparison. Seems like that's what I go off of. It's one whole arm length deep, and it's about from my shoulder to my hand tall. You can fit quite a bit of stuff in this frunk. This would be really nice for road trips. So let's see if I can close this thing. Oh, by the way, if you get locked in the frunk, hit that to escape. And then there's a outlet right there. You can charge your phones or whatever you want with. All right, let's close this up. Pretend I know what I'm doing, because I don't. Do you have to hold it? I don't know. Let's see if I know what I'm doing. Okay, you hold it. I found it out. There we go. Pretty slick. It's cool this thing's got 3 wipers on it. That's neat. I haven't seen any vehicles that have had that since the Toyota FJ Cruiser. I got 2 wipers on mine. Wouldn't mind having a 3rd one. It'd cover the middle more. Middle gets kind of left out. All right, let's hit the actual trunk. And it swings open for me. Dang. Nice and fancy. So we got the ultimate comparison here. Look at a golf bag inside to show you guys how much room you could fit in here. You could easily fit 2 to 3 more golf bags in here without folding these seats down back here. So you definitely got a lot of room in this thing. Really cool back here. It is pretty high to lift stuff into though. It's the trunk on this is honestly higher up than the trunk on mine. So just imagine if you got a big container or something, you got to lug it past this and then over that. So that's quite the haul to get stuff into the back of this thing. There's the cargo area. I would sit in it, but there's the golf bag in it. But I'm not going to make excuses. I do like sitting in these because then I could tell you guys how many people could fit back here, because it's a pretty good like measurement to go off of. How many 5'11", 200-pound people could be back here, but they shouldn't be riding back here. All right, don't forget that. But just for comparison's sake, you could easily fit 4 of them right here. They'd be touching each other's shoulders, leg to leg, complaining, but you could easily fit them in here. It's a lot of room in the back of this thing, and they could put their water bottles right here. But that's not what the back of this is for. There we go. Full-size spare tire back here with integrated backup camera. Wish mine had that, but it's kind of stubby, so it doesn't really need it. Now here's the back seat. Look at this cool Bose speaker with this like geographical pattern in it, and these nice little accents all throughout the car, these bronze accents. Really slick looking vehicle. This is really cool that this has rubber floors in it. So GM definitely kind of kept it off-roady. I mean, you could get this thing dirty, muddy, whatever, and not have to worry about it. And look, under that rubber mat is plastic. So very rugged, durable inside, and I like the pattern on it. It's really cool looking. But let's see how I fit in this thing. Oh, and here's the T-tops on the roof while I'm up here. Those are pretty freaking slick. God, if I bought one of these, it'd have to have those. Those are really cool. Here's your rear climate controls. You got your USB-C outlet, normal USB outlet, more of that neat pattern, and like a little shelf for phones or whatever you need to. And then there's a whole like house wall charger outlet back there. You got your little storage pouches for the back of the seats. You could fit 3, possibly 3 car seats right next to each other if you really had to. So you should definitely, if this is in your budget, try and talk the missus into getting something like this. This is pretty cool. And then here's just your cup holder in the middle, and you got the theater kind of seating in the back where like I'm looking right here, so the rear row's a little bit elevated. So really cool, really nice view you get from the back of this thing. You got all your, I'm not gonna cuss, but we all know what these are. These are just your normal grab handles. No, they're for when the drivers decide to act like a maniac and you gotta hold on for dear life. That's what these handles are for. That's what my passengers use them for. Okay. Let's get into the front of this thing. Look at the side step on this. Rhino lined from the factory. That is sweet. I wish mine was rhino lined. I don't know, I like the gloss black look. We redid all the bars on mine, repainted everything. That's why they're so shiny. They were definitely not shiny in the first videos or whatever I've done of it. But this is nice to have that rhino lined. It'll last a lot longer. Here's the passenger side. Look at that. See, nobody's gonna ask you, what are you driving? It's right here. Really cool. Here's the glove compartment. You can fit a decent amount of stuff in here. You can fit napkins, anything you need. Here's a piece for your wall charger. So you can fit a lot of stuff in here. Napkins, ketchup packets, your manuals for the car, whatever you want to fit in here. It says Hummer right there. This vehicle definitely doesn't let you forget what you're in. Hummer. Hummer looking thing. Hummer. Hummer. American flag, America. Hummer. No Hummer. Definitely make sure you know what you're driving. Hummer 2X. Hummer EV. GMC. Definitely on point with being branded all over, just like the old one, which we're gonna get into that right now. Close this up so I don't burn my butt when I sit in it. All right, here's my old one. Might as well start with all the Hummer comparison points. Hummer H2. I don't know if I can really count these because I put them on because my old ones were crap, but H2. Hummer. 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 Not to forget Hummer. Definitely doesn't let you forget what you're driving. Oh, last but not least, Hummer. 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 I think I covered that, got that out of my system. A lot of Hummers between these two things. So, let's throw all these doors open. Hummer! Hummer! I lied. I didn't get it out of my system. Doesn't say Hummer back there. Oh well. Alright, let's get started in the rear end of this thing. Quite a bit of leg room even in the rear of this truck, and there's cobwebs growing in it. What the heck? As much as I drive this, here's your rear center console in the back of the H2. Mind my air fresheners. You got these neat rib seats in the H2. Definitely do look dated compared to that EV inside, but I do like how it looks. That thing is going to keep beeping because I forgot to take the keys out of it. So we're just going to try and do this quick until I get around there to take the keys out. You got your overhead lights back here. You got more oh crap handles for when you're driving like a maniac. You have 8 oh crap handles. 9 oh crap handles. 9 oh crap handles in this thing. Definitely made sure everybody was well equipped with those. Got a gigantic pocket in the back seat. You get lost in that thing. Here's your window switches on the door. My door is definitely not as fancy looking as the EV, but looks cool for what it is. H2 is still a unique looking car. Looks like nothing else. Hummer like nothing else. Here's your rear climate. I'm missing a vent. It's at home. Yell at me over it. That cool air feels pretty nice. There's your seek for like your radio volume and shit stuff. Cut. All right, let's try this again. Here's the climate in the rear of the Hummer H2. Here's your vents. My other vents at home. Mind how it looks. Here's your heated seats back here. Because this was a luxe adventure, this is a really weird mutt kind of combination of options. Here's a little screen where you can like adjust like the volume of the radio back here. If you have headphones and we're listening to it, it's pretty cool. Here's like seek for your radio program, etc. Some other neat options. Here's like your little cigarette lighter holes. And these seats are really comfy. Look at the squish in that. Even though the leather's kind of worn, it's really comfy back here. All right, let's get up to the rear end of this thing. Here's the rear end of it. This is all the cargo space you have in an H2 Hummer. You don't have a fancy trunk thing on the front that you can just open up and throw pizzas or whatever in. Oh, and another Hummer. It's pretty decently sized back here. I've folded these seats down plenty of times and I've fit a ton of crap back here. Here's the OEM mat that it came with. It's cool, this vehicle has all the original mats in it. There's all the cargo space in that. And since it is my car, we're gonna do the how many people can you fit in the trunk of the car? As long as I can climb into it without breaking my neck. All right, let's go. There we go. The QX60 was easier to do this in. Look at this. Here I am in the back of this thing. I got enough room for Bobby to sit right here next to me, and I got enough room for Devin to sit right next to me over here. We'd be shoulder to shoulder, but you could make it happen not while you were driving, only if you were at an event and you're watching a show from the back of it. It's honestly pretty comfy back here. Got some nice speakers back here, little cubby hole. You got your little drink compartment and stuff. And here's where like the rear spare tire would have been, but we got rid of all that since mine's on the outside. And there would have been a seat like right about here, but it didn't have it when I bought the vehicle, and I'm not upset about that. So let's get out of the back of this thing gracefully. There we go. And let's close the trunk with this weird rubbery fake leather grab handle that matches the rest of my interior. Boom. There we go. It is nice that on the EV, the spare tire is just stuck on the rear hatch. That is really smart that they did that, because this thing is kind of heavy and it's kind of a pain to move all the time. Let's close this door up over here. Take my keys out of this thing before everybody goes crazy. All right. Here's the front of the Hummer H2. Here's the key. Definitely not as interesting as the electric one's key. There's my normal key just to get in it. Get your Bose speakers up here, all your nice window switches. These are for the mirrors. The Hummer H2 was one of the first vehicles that had power folding mirrors on it, believe it or not. So it's right down here. These are your seat controls, heated seat, memory seat. You can heat the back of your seat, the bottom of your seat. There's your mirror controls, window locks, lock and unlock. Here's some really thick floor mats that say Hummer on them. They came with this vehicle originally, OEM. Here's the front of the Hummer H2. Really cushy seats. Look at this, look how cushy these seats are. You got your grab handle right here, and obviously somebody's grabbed it because they cracked it. They got so scared they cracked it. Passenger airbag on and off. Here's your little glove box. Can't really fit much in this one. Normally I have napkins and stuff in here, but I used them all at the car show when I got something to eat. Didn't replenish my stock. So here's your center console, which it's pretty big. You can fit quite a bit of stuff in it. Look at all this crap I've got in it, but it's pretty deep. It's at least to my like right here, so it's pretty deep. You can fit a lot of stuff in it. Here's your shifter in the center, broody mean looking shifter with the leather wrapping on it. Park, reverse, neutral, drive. 3, 2, 1, go. Blast off. Here's my Gatorade because it's really hot out. Look, you can put a Gatorade in the cup holder. Oh, party tricks. Remember how we talked about party tricks with the Hummer EV? Well, my H2's got a party trick. You can pull up the whole surround around the shifter and freak everybody out while you're driving. Isn't that fun? Old vehicle problems. It's kind of fun though. Now when you get pulled over, they're gonna be like, all right, sir, what are you hiding under your shifter? Here's your off-road modes. Here's a cheap aftermarket radio that I can't wait to get rid of when I get my interior redone. Here's your climate controls. Here's your OnStar that doesn't work at all. People sell plates to like replace all of it in here. There's your like 12-volt outlets, cigarette outlets, whatever you want to call them. Trailer modes. Here's your lights on the vehicle. You can dim them, turn off your entrance lights, etc. Here's your like windshield washer thing for like the rear window. Here's your brights. Here's your front window wiper controls, stuff like that. Here's your sources for the radio. Seek, like skip songs, volume for the radio. There's your trip settings, and there's your information on the car, which might as well start it up and go and do a comparison on the menus for you guys. All right, turn that off. So here's the range. Get you guys in there a little closer. Mind me putting my grubby mitts all over the front of this thing. And it's only blinking like that on video. All right, there we go. Range 354 miles. You average 11.4 miles to the gallon. Lovely. This is cool. I like it when you're driving it and you see that changing when you turn it on, and like if you hit the gas like that, you'll literally see it change from freaking 11 miles to the gallon to 1. It is the most American thing ever. Here's my engine oil life. Yeah, I'll need to change it soon-ish. There's my odometer. There's your driver controls. You can change like your display, the lights, the locking, a lot of other stuff. Perimeter lighting, turned on, off. Curb view assist, which is where your mirrors kind of like tilt down. This thing had a lot of stuff in it for being an 03. This one is one of the first 03s. It was produced in, I think it was like the 9th or 10th month of 2002. So that's the majority of what I can show you on this, because it's pretty basic. So let's turn her off and show you all the crazy stuff on the Hummer EV. I almost forgot the mirror. Hi guys. One of these cubbies you can throw glasses in this one that's just missing and in the trunk somewhere. And you also get these gigantic rear view mirrors that sound horrendously awful, but they do have these extenders on them that make them gigantic. That's longer than my arm. It's crazy. And here's the light for my off-road lights on the front of this thing that were part of the adventure package. So I'm getting sick of hearing that beeping coming out of you. So let's get started on the next one. Oh, again, before I take off, I'll show you guys the engine on this thing. It is a 6.0 Vortec. I've showed it a couple times, but now it's clean. And the reason I didn't show you guys anything on this one is because the batteries are literally like down there. They are under where you sit in the car. If I could show you, I would. Be pretty cool, but I can't. Here's my 6.0 Vortec engine in it. There's your air filter right there. There's your gigantic freaking radiator. It's the size of a tank, size of a Mini Cooper. Crazy. So here's all that. There's my battery. There's some other stuff over there in this little vent. So let's get started on the EV, because I know how to drag a video out to be 1,000 minutes long. And here's your 360 camera. All right. Oh man. Let's see what kind of startup this thing has. Holy crap. I heard the graphics in this thing were from Unreal Engine 4, which is insane if that's true, because it honestly looks like it. Got video game graphics in this thing. Look at this. Wow. Fancy for when you're steering and stuff. You got that nice little light up there. That is really cool. Hummer! Hummer! A Hummer, in case you forget. Here's your latches for the T-tops in it. Really love these T-tops. This thing would be so cool to drive in the summer on a beach, wherever. It'd be really cool. Let me turn this down. Look at all the buttons in this thing. Looks like it's like sci-fi how they look. They're really cool. Wonder if there's like a shade or something to pull over this roof, because I noticed this leather is getting scorching hot, and so is this like painted plastic just from being in the heat. Like you could burn yourself on it just about. If it was over 100 degrees, yeah, this would be very hot. I'd be putting a towel down or something in this, but oh well. Here's your mirrors in her. Black headliner looks really slick. There's your door controls for your house, like your garage door controls. There's some lights. There's like a weird Easter egg looking scribbles. I can't read it. What does that say? Huh. It says release. I think it's the release for this stuff, so I'm not gonna mess with it. There's your like windows, or no, what is that? Oh, that's the lights for your doors and everything. That's cool. Here's your rear view mirror, which you do have a rear view mirror that shoots out the backup camera, which I love those. Those are cool. Here's your oh crap handles. You only got 2 of them up here. This thing looks like a freaking Halo Warthog or something inside. Here is your vents down here. Here's your vents on the sides. Let's see, let's start hitting some crap in this to see what pops up. Shows your Apple CarPlay on the screen. That's really cool. And the time. There's a lot of stuff on that screen. A little distracting though. There's your assisted cruise, super cruise. Here's like your cruise control settings, which I'm not going to hit those anymore. Here's your call button, your phone settings over here. Let's see, let's dink around on the screen. There's your trailer controls right here. It's a fancy clock. Look at the settings on here. This is like the font I used to use in middle school when I do like PowerPoint presentations, because I thought it looked really cool. There's your trailer settings. Here's your, oh, like your altitude and stuff for off-roading. That's cool. Here's your cameras around the vehicle. Look at that relic over there. All kinds of different cameras. That's shows your trailer hitch. That's really cool. Here's like aux settings. So if you like hooked other stuff up to this. There's your air down mode. That's cool. So this is like a freaking Hummer H1. You can air the tires down. This thing got a whole lot of flack for having wheels that look like the H1 wheels, for just mimicking it. Here's your Google Maps, which I already doxed myself to begin with, so I might as well dox myself again. Oh, it's not set up in here, so I'm not gonna mess with it because it's not my car. But there's your map. There's like where I'm at right here precisely. Whole address, whole everything right there. And then here's your little clock again, and just your basic settings. Let's hit on audio. How do you do audio? So there's GMC Studio, there's Alexa, hotspots, rear climate. I hit the climate on here and see what pops up. I'm learning this with you guys. Isn't this cool? So there's all your different climate settings. That's pretty neat. Let's see, I want to listen to some radio. Oh, there's all your radio settings. Do we have Sirius XM hooked up?
Welcome to Sirius XM.
No, we don't, but that's cool. I do like the white background. I wonder if at night if it dims down. There's your heated steering wheel, traction off. There's your SOS, parking sensors. Here's your wireless phone charger. Definitely got a lot of stuff. Here's your different driver modes. Here's your shifter. It's a unique shifter. Hit the brake in, hit the side, and you push it forward, pull it back. There's the backup camera. There's the reverse. I named it wrong. That's the forward camera. There's the 360 camera. And to put it in park, you just take your finger off the button right here, hit park. Here's the center console of this thing, which has a lot of stuff in it. So look, you can fit a lot of stuff in. Oh, didn't mean to do that. And sorry for flinging your stuff around. Now you're gonna watch this video. I'll grab those. Put your icebreakers right back in there. There we go. So this is the inside of the Hummer EV. So with that, this has been my video comparing my 2003 Hummer H2 to the new 2025 Hummer EV. What do I think of the Hummer EV? I think it's really cool. I like the fog lights on it. I like how it has a similar looking kind of front end. It does definitely look like if you modernized an H2. Really slick looking, really cool. Probably got to be one of my dream SUVs right here. I really like the thing. It's kind of a shame they don't offer any gasoline variants in it. It would be cool to have a gas option, but I guess it is what it is right now. And here's my old H2, which I love to death for some reason, even though it causes me headaches and everything, but it just looks like a toy. So does that. So with that, thank you guys for watching. Please let me know what you thought in the comments below. Hopefully this video wasn't too long, but at least we got everything covered, right guys? So with that, have a good one. Peace out.